couple of recap things from our game last week. MVPs of the game, DeQuan Finn at quarterback. I thought he did a really good job of making plays with his feet and handling some tough situations and making off-schedule plays, and a couple of really big conversion down deals in the first half there that really got us off to a good start. In the kicking game, Swai Ellis continues to improve. I think he was our point leader for the weekend and did a really good job on the kickoff unit and really on all four units in his opportunities to play. And good young players like that to get their opportunity, it's really refreshing to watch them take advantage of their moments, and really happy with him and proud of where he's coming along here. Jamal Hines on defense, one of his better games as a Rocket. You know, he consistently is where he's supposed to be, does the right thing, and was very productive in the game on Saturday night. So lots of things to clean up after that game, you know, as we head into this week. But I think in all three phases, a much better performance week 2 than maybe we saw week 1. So encouraging things there. And now the challenge is to take the jump from week 2 to 3 here. And obviously this opponent this weekend is a monster one, and one that's a tremendous challenge for us, and a program that we have a lot of respect for, and the coaching staff we have a lot of respect for, and know the talent and the history and the tradition that place has, and I think it'd be a great opportunity for our guys to go down and compete and in a great environment. So looking forward to that, and with that being said, I'll take all your questions.
Jason, Toledo in the last 2 decades has a history of really rising up in these types of games. If they don't win them, they play well, kind of assert themselves. What's that kind of been the ingredient, you think, in this program the last 20 years of why they're able to do that?
Yeah, I think our guys look forward to playing in these type of games. You know, our guys are mostly from the state of Ohio, or a 4-hour footprint here, so they know the tradition. They respect what goes on in Columbus or at South Bend, Indiana last year, or at the University of Michigan, or any of these places. And probably most of these guys wanted to be recruited by those type of places. You know, and I think it's an opportunity for them to go and play on that stage, and it's something that doesn't happen each and every weekend. So something they look forward to, but also I think that it provides a great focus for a week of preparation where, you know, you can't allow the moment to take control of you. You can allow the crowd to take control of you. You can allow the elements of the game to take control of you if you let it. But if you have a great week of practice, that stuff should be off the map. So I think historically it's a game we look forward to. Guys, they understand the magnitude of it, and one that the competitor in you rises up to the occasion.
This game in particular, Saturday, first time Toledo's ever been on network television. It's prime time, Fox. It'll be one of the highest rated games of the week. How big of an opportunity do you think it is, like as a football program, as a university, as a brand?
Yeah, I think a great opportunity. You know, obviously I say this often to donors and in public that, you know, the games that we have that are midweek action games that are across the country, that are nationwide, it's an opportunity for us to be a window into our university. And I think athletics is a unique platform to do that each and every weekend. And this is no different, you know. And like I said, this is a major opportunity for us, and one that we don't take lightly, and one that we're certainly looking forward to.
You guys have had a lot of huge non-conference challenges since you joined in 2009 with the staff, with Ohio State a couple times, Notre Dame, Arkansas. Is it fair to say, even among those great challenges, this is maybe even on a different level than all those?
Yeah, this is a tremendous football team. This is, you know, 3 preseason All-Americans on offense. You know, this is a coaching staff that does it as good as anybody does in the country. You know, I think there's lots of things here that are at play, and lots of different variables here that you have to bring into focus. You got to bring your A game. You got to play really, really well and play really sound. You got to get a couple breaks to go your way, and you got to hang in there for a full 60-minute fight. And you know that's what we're expecting to try to do, and I'm sure that's what that they prepare each and every week for too, as well as a 60-minute fight, no matter who you're playing.
How do you handle messaging in a week like this to make sure that it doesn't get bigger than what it is, or do you play it up that way?
I mean, I think our guys can come up here and sit here and talk about Long Island and can talk about UMass and and that, but in the back of their head they're going to say all the right stuff. But I think in their mind I'm pretty sure they know the difference between Ohio State and Long Island. So I don't know if there's a lot that needs to be said. I think they understand what it is. I still think there's a lot of stuff to handle in our locker room. I still think there's a lot of stuff to handle in our practice that we have to continue to improve on, regardless of who the week 3 opponent is. It's still week 3. It's the infancy stages of a long football season that you have to continuously go on that journey and go on that climb. There's been a lot of improvement from week 1 to week 2. We'll have to see that to continue on the journey that we think that we're on from week 2 to week 3. Now you add the caliber of opponent, it becomes a little bit harder of a challenge, but we've got to have a great week.
This day and age, it's going to happen more often than it used to in the old days, with Dallas having to face his old team. How weird is that in college football? Obviously, it's going to be more normal now than it used to be, but how difficult is it? How do you think he'll handle that situation?
Well, I mean, I think that we dealt with this last year with John Jones going back to Notre Dame, and I thought John had a great game, but I thought John played within the scheme of the defense. If I know Dallas like I think I do, I think that he'll go out and have a level head and play within the scheme of the defense and make the plays that come to him, and not step out of his lane and try to do too much because he's got some chip on his shoulder or something to prove. That's just who he is as a human being. You know what I mean? And great, solid human beings in tough moments don't step out of character. So I'd expect him to prepare and have a great week and go play well on Saturday night.
You have guys that have played, some Power 5 guys that have played Penny, and how much does it help those guys to have already been in arenas, that big time atmosphere, things like that?
College football is college football. I mean, every Saturday's a task in itself. It has its own set of challenges. We respect everything that goes on in Columbus, Ohio. We respect everything that goes on about Ohio State. I think we understand that there's challenges each and every week, and you've got to do a good job of preparing for those. And this has its own set of, like I said, things that you got to deal with. So we'll handle them throughout the week and go put our best foot forward Saturday night.
You're an offensive guy. I know you pay so much attention to quarterbacks around the country. Where does C.J. Stroud rank among the guys you've played since you've been here?
Well, I think he's drastically improved over a 2-year period as a guy that's plays in a consistent oiled machine of an offense and a coach that has done a good job developing the quarterback through the history of his career. Credit to that kid for doing a great job of he took over for a great player. To see him consistently improve, I think has been fun to watch and impressive to watch. The receivers change over, a couple draft picks, they lose a receiver there, and here comes a couple more guys that, regardless of the level of talent, you have to find continuity and you have to find structure and within the offense to play with, and it's been easy to see that he's been able to do that. So, I don't know the kid personally, but it looks like he's got a great command of what he's got going on and a great command of the people around him, and no different than what DeQuan has in this locker room here. So I think that's the role of the quarterback, and if you can consistently grasp that, then you have a chance to improve. And I think it seems to me from the outside looking in, he's a very humble young man, and I think when you have humility, you always have a chance to get better. So I think that's probably where you're seeing the improvement.
Toledo has a good fan base, obviously, but we live in this borderland where there's fans from a lot of different teams, including Ohio State. Basically, in the past, I know you've said something along the lines of, if you live in Toledo and you didn't go to Michigan or Ohio State, there's no excuse for Toledo not to be your first team. What do you guys mean by that? And I know it's obvious, and why is it so important for everybody to be around the hometown program?
Well, I get it. I understand. I grew up in a household of Buckeye fans. I understand that. But like, you live in the city of Toledo. Like, you go to work here every day. You pay taxes here. Like, root for the home team. And that would be my message, and I'm not deviating from that. I don't care who we play this weekend. So, root for your hometown team. Like I said, you be where your feet are, that kind of thing. You got your degree from Ohio State, or you send your kids there. I get that part of it too, and that's awesome to root for them. But I'd like to see the camaraderie, the local crowd rally around this football team each and every weekend. And if Ohio State needs to be your second favorite team, I'm good with that too.
You and Ryan Day, I think, are friendly. How would you describe your relationship? And is he a guy like you pick his brain for offensive ideas?
I mean, I got a lot of respect for Coach Day. I think he does it the right way. I think he arguably has the hardest job in America. He had to replace a legend and a guy that's won it at the ultimate level. I think he's done a great job of coming in there and commanding the respect that he deserves through hard work and energy, and just put a staff around him that commands the same amount of respect because of who they are as people. So I think we're friends, and he does a really good job, and he's a guy that is on the cutting edge of how to play offensive football and has been for years. So a guy I have a lot of respect for, and like I said, I think at the core of it, though, I think that, first and foremost is a great man and a great husband and a great father, and that's very evident. And and I think that's probably why he's been able to have the success he's had thus far in his career.
You said you grew up in a house full of Buckeye fans.
I don't go there.
I don't want to. I don't want to be cheesy here, but will you take a moment to soak it in, being in there and coaching against them and all those kind of things?
I don't remember anything really from the Notre Dame trip other than we lost the game, and being in the locker room afterwards. And, obviously these are great environments for everybody. These are great environments for fans. These are great environments for our teams, our team and our players that go into that and our coaches too. But growing up in the state of Ohio, you understand, you get it. I grew up watching Eddie George and Joey Galloway and all these guys play as well. So, yeah, it'll be cool to be there. But once that bus parks and we go in the locker room, it'll be go time just like it is any other time. So it's not going to be – we're not going to go to the stadium and take 1,000 pictures and post on social media how we're excited to be in Ohio Stadium. We're going to go play football and compete for 60 minutes like I expect our team to do each and every weekend.